My name is Minerva Allen. I'm from the Fort Belknap Indian Reservation, and I'm a Assiniboine Indian, and I live in Lodgepole, Montana. And this is, our ancestors came from the sky. It's from the Nakota Sky people. My great-grandmother called me muskrat because my hair was colored like a muskrat, and it's called sunk pay. My name is Minerva Krantz Allen. I was born in a log cabin, one of the first children of a white man named Ernest Krantz and my mother, Felicitas Chopwood, a full-blooded Assiniboine Nakota Indian. This marriage did not seem to work, so I was raised by my grandparents, Henry Chopwood and Lucille Bullcap. My first language was Assiniboine. My grandfather was a Gros Ventre, and his name was Tokan, enemy. I learned to understand the Gros Ventre language. I had many grandmothers. They all seemed to live longer than the grandfathers. My clan was of the Ko people clan, my grandmother's people. My great-grandfather was of the Black Horse clan, and my grandfather's clan was of the Prairie clan. Usually the grandmother's clan is the clan of the children, and is the strongest for raising children and for teaching them their native traditions. My grandfather and grandmother were very strong Sundance people, very traditional people. They belonged to the hand game and the feather game. They were traditional dancers and singers. Also, my grandmas were traditional herbal people, medicine people. I went with them in the mountains and plains and countrysides. We picked weeds, brushes, and trees, and my grandmother taught me how to use them. For years, I've been writing a book about traditional herbal medicines. I never ran out of babysitters, and I had many grandmothers who taught me how to dry meat, make pemmican, how to tan buckskin, how to smoke the hides, and how to do quill work and make clothing. My grandfather encouraged my education. He went to boarding school at the age of 13, and he left at the age of 16 and said he never knew the English language but to say yes and no and thank you, because he was never in the classroom. He worked on the farm, milking cows, butchering, and tending animals to help feed the smaller kids in the boarding school. He told me I would need to know English when I grew up. So when I was 5 years old, he took me to the missionaries to learn to speak English. I was boarded out on weekdays, and my grandfather would come and get me on Fridays to go home. So I learned the English, and in the day school, I interpret for the other Indian students who didn't know the English language. My grandfather died when I was 10 years old. The worst day of my life. He was sick for a year. Every evening after school that year, I and my dog would walk a mile to a neighbor to buy a quart of milk. I had a large pail to carry it back, winter and summer. I remember waiting for the neighbors to get home and milk, and I had to walk in the dark. Tommy and I struck out so close many times Tommy's hair would touch my leg. I could not see, so I followed the wagon road. Tommy would growl, and I couldn't see anything, and I would pray, "Don't let it be a wild cow or a horse." Sometimes Tommy chased something. I would keep walking, and I would think, "Please come back, Tommy," and he would. Grandmother put a lamp in the window, and I walked straight for the light. I remember well when my grandfather died. He called me to his bedside. There was a lot of his Indian friends sitting around. They had tents all around the cabin. My grandfather was an Indian policeman for many years. When I went to his bedside, he asked me to remember to get an education. He said, "Help your people. You look like a white girl, so you will make it. Remember, I will always be with you. Just call me and I will be there to help you. I have to go," he said. "Grandpa, don't go. I want to come with you," he said. "Where am I going, my girl?" "You cannot come." "Maybe later," he said. Then my grandmother took me away, and I was sad, sad, sad. So I went to school. There was no high schools on the Fort Belknap Reservation, so I went to a boarding school at Flandreau Indian High School in South Dakota, when I was 13 years old. It was hard and lonely till I got used to it. I graduated, but I had to fight to get money to go to college. My mom died and left me with a sister and 2 brothers. There was no one else to take care of them. So I found the best man in the world, John Allen, and we were married, had a great life, and raised my sister and brothers. I told my husband I would give him many children. After that, I was going to finish my education, and as I promised my grandfather, I went to work at the Head Start program, wrote a grant to educate 20 Native American teachers. I received the grant, and as I was one of the 20 who graduated out of Northern Montana College. After that, I went to Central Michigan University and received a degree of community education. I also went to Weber State University and got a degree in early childhood education, and went back to Northern Montana College and received a master's in counseling and administration. I went to work for Hayes Lodgepole Schools for 20 years. We had a family of 3 boys and 5 girls. Then we adopted 6 more, 5 boys and 1 girl, and I took in 8 other foster children. They are all grown, all educated. Some went to college and have good jobs. I only lost one to a house fire when I boarded them out to go to Harlem High School. The reason I write poetry was because I was a lone child my grandfather raised. I also thought my parents cared for me, so being lonely, I wrote on everything: paper bags, old sugar sacks, cardboard boxes. I always saved them, and at Christmas the church gave us pencils, papers, color books, and small bags of peppermint candy. I kept my homework and wrote on the back my feelings and my thoughts. I never was discouraged from writing. Some people thought I was a little crazy, but I had to let someone know how I felt about life, about our people, and about my thoughts. I was very proud of my Indian heritage, and I wrote about it in my poetry. Not only the good, but some of the bad as well. My poetry is an honest perception on Indian America. I try to use my poetic powers and my creative insight to allow people to look upon our lives and events. And I strive to portray our ancestors' times in a whole new light. Our Indian people, the Assiniboine, Nakota, are sky people. Our ancestors said we were here a long time. Our ancestors said we came from the sky, and we will return by the Milky Way when our time comes. We will go to the spirit world. Most of the Assiniboine Nakota's names pertain to the sky, clouds, and the flying animals, and animals of the earth, stars, thunder, and lightning. I asked why this is so, and was told simply that our ancestors were from the sky. We are sky people. Machbia Winchashtabi. We are very spiritual and mystic people. Our old ones have spiritual and holistic ways of treating our people through prayer and with a way of encountering their spirituality with the Creator and the Sundance. My grandmother taught me the ways. Respect yourself first, and you will respect everyone and all things around you. Respect goes with love, understanding, friendship, and patience. The Assiniboine people are called the generous ones. We are all about being nice to everyone and everything, and talking to everyone and following our destiny. My grandmother was very proud of having giveaways and for the generosity of the people. The men in the Assiniboine Nakota are treated with respect, as history has proved. They are providers and protectors of the tribe. So fathers, grandfathers, uncles, brothers, sons are treated with respect and honor if they earn it. The women in the family are taught to hold the men in high esteem, so the men in turn respect, love, and take care of their women folk. In some of the Nakota ceremonies, the Assiniboine call the buffalo. The ceremony begins, the pipes are lit, the bundles and pipe carriers are sitting in a circle. The calling of the buffalo begins. You hear the beat of the hand drum and the drone of the voices in song and prayer. The noise roars and rumbles like thunder. The buffalo come like a brown ocean waves. They will surround the ceremonial people and run north and stand and watch. They pray and sing continuously. The hunter stands up and goes off to the north and stands watching. The buffaloes start coming. One buffalo steps out of the herd. He hears the calling. The hunter shoots and the buffalo falls. Two other buffaloes butt the fallen one on each side and tries to keep him up, but no, he fails. They run back to the herd and the herd runs over the hill. The call of the buffalo is done and the sweet grass and the sage still follows through the air. These ceremonies are taught to young and old or whoever wants to see and learn. The Sweat Lodge is also a ceremony where everyone participates. When it's first built, tobacco is put in each willow hole and prayed over. Only certain kind of willows are used. People go in to be cleansed, to be healed, and to refresh themselves. They bring their songs and their problems to be helped. The Sweat Lodge is facing south, the Assiniboine way. There is a prayer to the great Creator for food is given. Fish to the eagle, berries to the bear, fish and berries to the thunderbird, asking for their help. Then the pipe is raised and smoked, and the people go in. The song and prayers are sung. The stones are carried in the lodge 4 times, and there is food afterwards to feed the spirits and the people. So knowing all this and being taught the way of the Nakota made me strong. My grandmothers were storytellers. We keep our history, our culture alive by telling our history and our legends to young people. They do not get tired of it. They don't get tired of us telling our history, stories, mystic legends, and the way our people live. I encourage young students and old to write how they feel into poetry. Poetry, I tell them, is yours and no one can take it away. Write your feelings, sad, happy, mad, glad, and put it away. When you pick it up again, it's changed your outlook on life. You have the right to express yourself as you see fit. I've been writing poetry and stories since I learned to write. There is so much to write about around us. Writing can ease your mind of what bothers you or remind you not to take for granted the beauty of the world. Sometimes to me, time has no meaning. Life goes on. And when I go to sleep at night, my prayers to the Creator is to stay a little longer here on earth. I have unfinished business. I want to write and leave some good words for people somewhere. I have so much to say and write, it seems endless. Right now, I have no reason to follow the spirit trail. I have too much to give to people who want to listen. Pinamaya, Sung Pe, Minerva Allen.